Hello guys and welcome here to the Carvana Wildcard Series race number 10 here today from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Over the years, I have tried to run the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. It was back with the Tax Layer Cup, my Xfinity levels, my Cobalt Truck Series. There was one problem with the track. You could only run 38 cars. Blame the person that made it. I believe it's Freddie and Sean. Sorry guys. Anyway, so today, perfect opportunity for the Carvana Wildcard Series being a 38 car roster. And today, on a special day, not only do I get to bring you the race with our road course analyst Austin Shaw, but we also got Daniel Hummel up here in the booth with us.
First time since Daytona, a long time no see.
And Austin, how's it going?
Oh, doing pretty well.
Alright, so guys, there's a lot heating up in this series. It's our second road course of many coming up. It's one of our final road courses before the playoffs. And the playoffs are loaded with a lot of road courses, including our season finale. So what's going to be on the minds of these guys entering today?
Just trying to stay on the road, try to get the best finish that you can, all for the best.
A lot of urgency for that final playoff spot, so people that haven't been winning yet. So a couple more races. What, is there 5 left after this?
Yes, there's 5 left after today. So the other thing is obviously the road course setups. A lot of these teams in stock car racing not very used to running with road course setups because typically on a regular schedule we only have 1 or 2, maybe 3 road courses now. Actually 4 in the Xfinity series. So obviously this is sort of a new challenge for these teams, I would imagine, right?
Yep.
So anyway, we've had 9 different winners so far this season. A lot of them are outside of the top 25. Are they going to get a little desperate here, or are they going to just essentially try to milk it, stay alive till race 15, and then make a last-second push?
Of course they're going to try. I think they're still going to try hard for those wins.
Yeah.
Every win counts.
I don't know. Because personally, if I was in that situation myself, where I'm on the cusp of the playoffs with the win, I don't know. I would rather just lay back, sort of, be like, let's just not race without, let's not race with that urgency because it could lead to wrecks.
Exactly.
Right.
And keep in mind, there's it's not as big of a threshold as the Cup Series. Obviously, if you fall outside of the top 30 in the Cup Series, there's not much ground left till you fall outside of the top 33. Here you got a few more spots for cushioning and whatnot. So it'll be interesting today, to say the least. Anyway, we're going to show you your starting lineup was already shown to you, as well as your knockout qualifying results. So, Austin, you ready to take us for a lap around the track?
Absolutely, let's do this.
All right, we shall return after Austin takes us for a lap in just a moment.
And here's the lap at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Going to take a left into turn 1 to a very somewhat short straightaway. And he had to brake really hard into the carousel. A long sweeping right-hander. Pick up the gas down the long back straightaway. Hit about around 150 at the end. Down into the kink. Then you gotta brake hard. You take a right-hander, the hard right-hander. And you switch up, and then switch to the left. You go left. Swing it to the right. Gotta maintain balance, left, right. And then another right. Down a somewhat long, somewhat short straight. Little braking into the left-hander and onto the second carousel, which is the one of the final corners. Hit the apex, and then swing it to the left, around the front stretch, and that is the lap at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course.
Alright guys, here we go. Any last second things we can add in here?
A lot of slow 90-degree corners in this track. It makes it a lot easier to pass if you're going toward the inside line in those corners.
Yeah. And I definitely would agree with that. What about you, Austin?
Like we said about these slow corners, you just gotta, I would say, throw it in there to see how it sticks.
Alright. Austin, you gave us a lap round. Daniel, it's your call.
And here we go down the front stretch, and we are green here at Mid-Ohio. Great start for Tyler Reed, going down to turn 1.
And these guys, another thing, they got to practice a lot of shifting because obviously on the ovals you don't see that kind of shifting.
Probably the best area to pass in the track is this carousel right here.
Yes, absolutely. You see the 12 taking advantage of it back there. That was Greg Graff, the lone Team Penske car.
Now down the backstretch, long backstretch.
Dog legs to the right. And going right down from 120 down to about 55 here.
Yeah, they managed to get away with 60 about in that corner. Obviously the tires are a big part of that. Anyway, the other thing is pit stops and cautions. They've screwed over a lot of guys this year. It could very well happen here today. Right behind, though, thought we had a battle. We don't have a battle. Back behind, they're still double wide, the 29.
29 is off the track. Looks like.
Alan Rogers, he keeps it going. Austin Shaw,
One car in the tires over there.
that was the 41.
That's the 11.
In the 11.
Oh,
Oh, 11's around. Your Brickyard winner.
no caution.
We keep it going, no caution.
That's surprising.
Tough break for Baranowski.
Yeah, that is a really tough break for her. She's already won a race this year. Obviously, it's the Brickyard. Biggest win of the year, I think, aside from Daytona. And you see that 98 has just gotten away. And, you know, question is, could it just come down to pit stops to catch the 98?
I think he's going to have to come down to a pit stop.
Yeah.
Unless something happens.
And I mentioned it in prior races, you want to get a big advantage that we have a little more room for error on your pit stops. Is that maybe what this 98 is trying to do here by checking out on the field?
Exactly. He's already got, he was 1 second ahead over there. As long as he keeps his pace, he should have enough room in case pit crew happens to make an error.
And then the other thing to keep in mind here, you know, he could very well have a short run setup.
You know, it does look like the 61 is kind of closing up on him.
And maybe it takes the 61 a little bit to get going. Keep in mind, that 61 has already won a race. This would, I believe, more than solidify him into the playoffs with the win today.
It's all thing I thought was really spread out.
Yeah.
Looks like everyone's single file. Front stretch.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I did a lot of testing prior to the season with tracks. And one track was Circuit of the Americas. Obviously, that's our season finale. This was a lot of the same racing that we saw or I saw at the Circuit of the Americas test that I did. You know, is it going to be, you know, when we get to that race, is it going to be just starting up front is going to be the biggest key in that race? I mean, especially because these road course races are a lot shorter than our oval races. You know. So, anyway, once again, I can't exactly remember what the next race is on schedule. I'm going to have to figure that one out. We see the 98's maintaining a good 1.2 second lead. And actually, it looks like the 98's a little bit better on the front half of the track, while the 61's, maybe this time, not this time, is a good example of it.
Oh, went up.
It went up almost 2 seconds now. And the other thing is now that 07 is starting to reel in the 61. If these two happen to battle for second, could this possibly determine the race?
It's possible.
I mean, because the way I view it now is if that 07 gets around, tries to get around the 61, this is going to make for a really hard. It's going to make it really hard for that 07 to catch the 98 without having to use a bumper at the end.
Coming halfway this lap.
And now the question will be pit stops. Who's going to gamble? Who's going to just say, forget it, let's come in, let's take some tires and just hope that we get a fast stop?
I don't think we're going 2 tires here. It's a road course. I don't know.
I will go with 4.
Yeah, you don't really gamble with 2 on road courses. With an oval, I'd say,
Yeah.
on the right side, and that's it.
But also, who will stay out an extra lap hoping to gain some track position? Because sometimes staying out an extra lap helps out.
Nope. We ain't been this time.
No.
Halfway.
Halfway through the race.
Yeah. Keep in mind the next lap, that 98 lead, that's going to be 2 bonus points right there. Now this has been a very diverse schedule, a lot of short tracks, a lot of road courses. It's sort of old-fashioned / sort of a hybrid characteristic to it. Pun to your series maybe. But, you know, obviously these guys have to focus more on their short track programs, on their road course programs. A lot of things that they don't well, obviously short tracks are a big part of this, you know. But I can imagine it makes life maybe a little bit easier knowing that you only have really 2 packages to focus on. Anyway, here we go. A battle for second is starting to heat up.
That's 61.
As I mentioned so many times on short tracks, and I'll also mention it here, it's one thing to catch someone, it's another thing to pass them.
Exactly.
You know, and the other thing is the patience factor. You know, how patient will these guys be?
Oh, we're pitting.
Not all of them.
No, Hilary Sanchez did no.
So Hillary Sanchez is going to lead the lap right there.
Damian Blue also stayed out. He's one of the guys battling to stay inside the top 30. So maybe a little bit of a gamble because the 07's a go or go homer. The 99's also on the border. You know, as the season goes along, it gets a lot harder to get inside that top 30. So I kind of like this gamble a little bit. And I believe the next road course we have was between Portland or Homestead. And both of them unique road. Well, Homestead I think being one of the most unique ones because it's an oval track normally. And then Portland's also going to have some it has some interesting characteristics.
It certainly does. Portland is what IndyCar runs. It's a track that could be beneficial to others. It's got all its own characteristics.
Yeah. And then the other thing is we have a few road courses coming up on the Cup side. Hillary Sanchez is one of those Cup drivers. As she comes to the pits.
So does everyone else. Looks like the rest of the field's pitting.
Who's gonna? No one's looks like staying out.
Yeah, everyone who didn't pit is pitting now. And will be...
Log jam.
No, Richard Johnson stayed out. Or did he pit? They won 2 tires, it looks like.
Oh boy.
Wow.
And Damian Blue is going to be a race leader. But for how long? That 16 might have 4 fresh tires.
That is some great pit strategy. No, might be some great pit strategy coming.
Oh, the 98 lost like 4 spots.
Yeah, keep in mind, that 98 might have done... Keep in mind, going a lap before, this allows these spotters to get a chance to see this see what strategy they're playing, and maybe it gives these guys a chance to say, okay, do you think you can do 2 tires if we were to give it to you to gain a few positions? And maybe these guys just said, you know what, whatever it's going to take to get the win, let's do it.
Oh, 15 is trying.
And he is pressing hard right now on that 87.
Teammates right behind him too.
We're coming to the white flag this time. Hopefully we don't see a rather interesting finish again, like we saw at our last road course on the schedule. 18 still on the pit lane, possibly an issue for all these guys.
White flag here in Ohio. Richard Johnson right on the back bumper of that 87.
Oh, come on, Richie. Sorry for the bias there for a second.
Bias to the inside. No.
No, he's going to hold out. Like we said, we've seen the bump and run. But the other thing is that bump and run might not work right now because his teammate is literally right behind him. And you can bet that 60 right there is hoping that something happens up front.
It could possibly happen,
No, he is right there.
I'm telling you, that 87 is so good on the brakes, but that 16 is just so much faster on the straightaways. That's just the advantage of having a big team compared to a small team.
I'm Richard Johnson. If I was running, I'd be going right down towards the inside of these corners. He'd try and get a lower line, get some ground up, maybe get a fender on him.
But could that car be tight?
I don't know if Richie's got this.
I don't know. He's got a little too much ground to make up and not a whole lot of time.
Down to the final carousel right over here.
He's going to have to really dive it in to make something happen. And it doesn't look like it. So Devin Blue. The small team comes out on top today. Devin Blue becomes our 10th different winner on the circuit this season, winning at Mid-Ohio.
What a great pit strategy for that 87.
That was really good pit strategy to win this race.
Yeah. An unsponsored team, too, and that's obviously a great thing for that group to get a win. And, but the efforts of the 2 Roush cars don't go unnoticed, obviously. I mean, Rick Johnson has struggled since Daytona. A good finish for him today. That certainly helps that team. And then Adam McDowell as well. He had a good finish today. I believe we head to Boston next race. So that'll be a unique change. I've never seen that track before. So should be fun, ultimately.
I think I've heard that track before.
Well, you will after Saturday or Sunday for sure. Anyway, we want to thank you for watching. Austin and Daniel, thank you guys for joining me today.
Anytime.
I love doing these races.
I do too.
Yep, and we shall be back soon. We want to show you your results and standings. We'll see you for race number 11. Bye, everyone.